This fifth lesson in our CPR curriculum is on kindness. And we're really focusing on kindness to yourself. And so today we will go through easy seated position, breath awareness. We will then flow into child's pose, then stand up for goddess pose, and then make our way back down for waterfall, and then adding on one new posture, what we call Shavasana, which is a resting pose, but that it can also be translated as corpse pose. And we'll just spend a few breaths in each shape. So I invite you to find a way that feels right for you to come into an easy seated position like we learned in our first lesson. For me today, that means sitting on a bolster, and then I place my left hand out, my right hand inside, and then bring my hands into my lap. I invite you to gaze softly down or to close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And then once you settle the body into an easy seated position, I invite you to bring your attention to your breath. You can find the breath at the nose or at the belly. But if you experience anxiety frequently, or if you're just having a day in which your anxiety is a little bit higher, I encourage you to find the breath at the back body. Maybe in those intercostal muscles that are between the ribs. So you feel the rib cage expand as you inhale and come back to neutral as you exhale. But just take 3 more breaths in this shape. And then slowly making your way out of this shape, I like to place my hands on my knees. And then I'm going to remove the bolster and then come up onto my knees and then sit my hips back down on my heels. Coming into child's pose, I invite you to spread your knees a little bit wider, and typically the toes touch in the back, or at least there is an intention for the toes to touch. And then place your hands down in front of you and begin to guide your upper body down, placing your forehead on the mat. Once you have arrived in child's pose, settle and wiggle the body, finding the body's way into this shape. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. And if your mind begins to wander, just gently and with great kindness, guiding your attention back to your breath. And then taking 3 more breaths in this shape. After your 3rd breath, look up and then walk the hands back towards the knees. Your head slowly comes up, shift your gaze forward, and then just take a pause to allow the body to adjust. When you're ready, I invite you to come to that standing position. Now feels so kind to ourselves to move with ease and gentleness. And yet sometimes we need to not take ourselves so seriously. And so sometimes kindness to self is being silly or adding in a little bit of fun. And so we're going to add in our goddess pose, which means that we're going to move our legs farther than hip distance apart. The toes are pointed out, heels in, and then we're going to sink the hips down. Wiggle around, move the legs and the feet to the comfortable position, and then bring our arms to cactus arms. Now, I encourage you to add in some silliness. Maybe you just simply dance around, move side to side, or maybe you flow your arms in a silly, fun way that feels good. Or maybe you start to do kind of a monster walk forward and a monster walk back. Whatever feels fun and silly, silliness. And not taking ourselves so serious all the time is an act of kindness. And then when you're done, find stillness, feel the breath. Bring your hands back to heart center, and then straighten the legs. Toe heel, the feet back together. And now we are going to find that waterfall position. So come towards the wall with one hip really close, and then find a seat. Once you have found a seat with one of the hips, sides of your body against the wall, then simply begin to swivel yourself, bringing the feet and the legs up the wall. Now, if the hamstrings are tight, just simply move the hips away from the wall. Easing yourself into this shape, settling the body, noticing where you're holding tension, and inviting a sense of ease into those spaces. So anytime we get into a new shape, you probably have recognized that we first scan the body, we first settle the body, and invite ease and relaxation. And then once we've settled the body, you can bring your full attention to the breath. Following the inhale and the exhale. Maybe taking a moment to think through your day, and what percentage of the day were your thoughts kind to yourself? And what percentage of the day was your self-talk more critical or demanding? And not judging that good or bad or right or wrong, but just observing what is. Three more breaths here in this shape. After your third breath, bend your knees, placing your feet on the wall and scooting your hips even farther away from the wall. And then allow your body to fall over to one side and slowly press yourself back up. And then for our final pose, it is simply to be lying down. So scooting all of the pillows away, unless you would like some pillows as you lay. And then stretching your legs out long, finding your way down onto your mat. Hands are beside you, palms face up, or you can place your hands on your belly. And then in Shavasana, we also scan the body from head to toe and move around and see where we can find a sense of ease. Allowing the toes to turn away from each other. Tucking the chin just slightly. And then from here, we really don't need to focus on the breath, but if that helps you find a sense of relaxation, that is always encouraged. In this final relaxation pose, the breath might get more shallow. The body becomes still. And we have nothing to do but simply be. And you can stay here for as long as you like. But when you're ready to come out of this shape, we transition very gently, very slowly. And so maybe that just means wiggling fingers and toes. Moving the arms in some gentle ways. Maybe stretching like you just woke up in the morning. And then when you're ready, bringing your knees into your chest and taking a gentle rock side to side. And then allow your entire body to drop over onto one side. And then press yourself back up into that easy seated position. Let us practice kindness to self.